Hey, I'm Claire.
And I'm Janice.
And this is The X-Files, a podcast about breakups, broken hearts, and moving on.
We are breakup coaches here to help you beat your breakup,
Heal your broken heart,
and move on to an amazing, abundant life. Hello. Welcome to The X-Files podcast, a podcast about breakups, broken hearts, and moving on. I'm your co-host, Janice.
And I'm Claire. And today we are talking about ghosting, and specifically why you shouldn't take it personally.
Hot topic these days.
Yes, it is. Yeah. And we're talking about ghosting after 1 or 2 dates. This is not ghosting after a 6-month relationship.
Right. The conversation would be a little different.
It would be very different. Yes. And we're also not talking about whether it's ghosting when you've just been chatting on the apps and you haven't even met in person yet.
Perfect. And I guess I'd maybe want to open this up to our listeners. Do you think that is ghosting? Do you consider yourself having been ghosted if someone you're chatting with just stops responding? So hit us up in a DM and let us know if you've had experiences with that and how you've handled it.
Yeah. Personally, I feel like that's not ghosting.
I think that's pushing it a bit much with the expectations that we have on people that we don't know. But I'd love to hear what other people.
Yeah. And I know any rejection sucks. Like, that's a human thing. Rejection is going to hurt, even if it's someone that you don't even know, who you've just been talking to for a couple days on the instant messenger or whatever. It's still going to hurt. With ghosting kind of comes that inherent, they were rude and they did a socially unacceptable thing. So I guess that leads into defining what ghosting is.
Perfect. What is your definition that you're working with here?
I think there's a few key things with ghosting that makes it ghosting. Is number one, there's no explanation of your sudden absence.
Okay.
You just disappear. There's no, hey, not interested in anything more.
Okay.
The person is kind of left like, what happened? Are they okay?
Well,
did they get hit by a bus?
I've heard the "are they okay" excuse for pushing the contact or allowing yourself to be especially upset over the ghosting. And I think that it's kind of this story that a lot of us tell ourselves when we really want the contact and where we're kind of looking for an excuse to keep it going or looking for an excuse to start it up again after the person has ghosted you. Maybe they've gotten back in touch. And I have heard a lot, just wanted to make sure they're okay. But you don't know them. They are okay. What are the chances? And if they're not, they have people who they do know.
Exactly. Yeah.
Who can worry about that.
Yeah. You do not
I know that sounds harsh, but this is not on you.
Yeah. They have their own network of people who love and care about them. They do not need you, the person they've went on 1 or 2 dates with, to call the police because they've gone missing. They're okay.
Let's just be really real here.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you so much for that definition. And I thought it would be a good way to open up the conversation to talk about one of the reasons why we are talking about ghosting so much right now is because it is a fairly new concept. And that is because the etiquette of dating and the way that we date has changed so much and continues to change so quickly. And for instance, when I was perhaps first dating, maybe back in high school and early college, if you met someone and then you went on a date with them and you did not either hear from the person again or hear back from the person again, or if I did not respond to a call, it would just generally be assumed that the relationship was not going to move forward and that you would not be going on a second date. And in fact, a lot of times it wasn't really that big of a deal. Of course, if you really like the person, you might be disappointed, but you would not be going around telling your friends that you were ghosted.
Yeah.
This has really changed, and the expectation of how we communicate with each other, it has evolved very quickly. At the same time, there is not a playbook, there's not an etiquette manual for dating that we are all using.
Yeah.
And I think that's why there is a lot of ambiguity when it comes to communicating after meeting, and why this is being talked about so much, and why people feel that it happens to them so much.
Yeah.
It's because everyone has a different idea of what is right.
Yeah. There's no universal protocol. Like, okay, I can assume if someone didn't follow this, that they're a bad person.
Yes, according to page 42 of Emily Post's dating etiquette, I should expect to have this and that after.
Yeah.
It's just not the case. Not now. Maybe we'll write it someday.
Yeah, someday. The chances of getting everyone on board is slim, but we'll try.
True. I mean, it's just the facts.
Yeah.
So, Claire, I would love to talk about our own experiences with this.
Yeah.
Have you considered yourself to have ghosted someone before?
Yes.
Oh boy.
I did ghost someone that I went on, I think it was 2 dates with when I was probably about 17.
Oh, well.
And I do remember him texting and being like, "Hey, where'd you go?" And me being like, I want to be very clear, and never responding. And that was my way of being clear.
Okay. Well,
unfortunately, at the time, I was still learning kind of how to communicate, and I was embarrassed to tell him that I wasn't interested. And
yeah.
it
Well,
was
you're
just
17.
weird.
I mean, give yourself a little bit of credit.
Yes. No, I don't lay awake sleepless at night over this. But I do realize I have done it. And I did have another instance where I considered it ghosting at first. And after looking at our definition of ghosting, I was like, you know what? That actually wasn't ghosting. And so what happened is I went on a first date with a guy from a dating app, and it was like an hour-long date. It ended very quickly.
Magic.
It was so magical. No,
God.
I mean, I figured I couldn't have been the only one who felt awkward. So I thought it was, pretty clear. And he did follow up and ask over text if I wanted to go on a second date. And I said, no, I don't think it's going to go anywhere. And he texted me back and said, how can I improve?
Oh, brother.
Little known to him, I was on my way to the hospital with a peritonsillar abscess to get a bunch of fluids and stuff and get the swelling to go down. It was about a week before I felt like even responding to any texts. And by that point, I was like, well, it's been like 6 or 7 days. He's probably thought I've ghosted him, so I'll just like never respond. So
yeah, no, this is interesting. And we've talked about this before. And I think that it is the perfect example of the unclarity that we have around this issue. Because you, until we talked about it, kind of felt like you had ghosted him.
Yeah.
And if you felt that you had ghosted him, then he might have felt that you had ghosted him. Whereas I would have considered you to have been straightforward and upfront, and that he kind of violated your boundary. And I did almost the exact same thing a couple years ago, where I had been seeing someone and absolutely got to a don't want to do it anymore point. And I sent him a message. I thought it was quite thoughtful, outline why I needed space. I did not want to see him anymore. I felt like it was pretty cut and dry. Yeah. And while at first he said okay, for quite a while after, he would continue to message me from time to time. And because I was so clear on it, I actually did not respond to any of his messages.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually now wonder if he told people that I ghosted him.
Yeah.
Which that's fine. I think people are working on different definitions of what this means.
Yeah, and it also, I think, is a way to make yourself feel better. It's a way to be like, oh, I'm a victim here. Like,
Totally. Yes,
I've
thank
been
you for this.
ghosted, poor me, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and if that's you, like I'm trying to be harsh for your own good, like
Yeah.
to kind of give you perspective. I was thinking back, I'm like, has anyone ever ghosted me? And I literally couldn't think of anything. And I feel like I've probably been ghosted at some point. It just made such a little impact to me that I can't even remember, you
Yeah,
know?
I dated someone. I went on a couple dates with someone who I actually really liked, which that's another aspect of this that I want to bring up is
Yeah,
if you didn't kind of have your hopes up about it, you wouldn't consider it ghosting. And so I
exactly.
do totally get that this is very disappointing and can hurt. And
Yes.
I mean, but this is kind of my story is I did really like this guy. And after a couple dates, yeah, I mean, I just didn't hear from him. And I was
Mhm.
surprised for sure. But I I don't think I said ever to anyone that he ghosted me just because I take these things a bit in stride when you're getting to know
Yeah.
someone.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, okay, they're not interested. On to onwards
Yeah.
and upwards.
Yeah, that's my attitude. And I would hope to help others develop the same attitude.
Yeah,
But that's why we're doing this.
exactly. Yeah.
So let's talk about how or why not to. Ooh, you can hear me turning my pages, got my notes.
Yes. We are
How can you,
prepared. We do prepare for these.
well researched, how can people not take it personal if they feel like this has happened in
Hmm.
their dating?
Yes. So I think the first thing is to remember that rejection is always going to hurt. There's nothing wrong with that. But just know that it's not someone purposely being a dick, you know?
Well,
It's
at least tell yourself that because the thing is
yeah.
you don't know because and we'll switch to my point, I guess. If a person does not either respond to you or just come and tell you why they don't want another date, then it's because they don't know how to communicate that to you or they don't want to communicate that to you, which is an indication of their lack of communication skills
Yeah.
and it has nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
Really, it doesn't.
Yeah.
And I have done this after a first date.
Yeah.
And I've tried really hard not to repeat that, but I did go on a date with someone I met online, and at first I was really jazzed up about dating again. And once I got on the date, I just realized I actually wasn't into it at all.
Yeah.
And he did message me like the very next morning, which really, if you want to date me, please don't do that after you've after the first time you
Oh,
meet
interesting. Oh my God, this might be a
Okay.
future episode.
Okay, that's just me, but it felt like I wasn't into it. And then, as soon as I get up, I start getting messages and I just didn't know how to say it. And it wasn't my best moment, but yeah, I didn't message
Mm.
back. And it was completely because I didn't have the courage to just come out and say it. And I've always been uncomfortable with some tense conversations, and it hasn't had nothing to do with him at all.
Yeah. Yeah, so you don't know what's going on in someone else's life. Like for me, it was a hospital trip. For you, it was just discomfort with any sort of confrontation.
Yeah.
And so it says more about them than it does about you. And if you value communication, someone who ghosts you is definitely not your person long term,
Yep. Love
anyways,
it. Love
because
it.
you do not share that in common.
Yes, that is such a good point because communication styles and expectations are one of the most fundamental things about a relationship.
Yes.
So if it doesn't go past the first or second date because they can't communicate with you, then accept possibly that this is not your person and it was not meant to be.
Exactly.
Yay.
Like, thank you for removing yourself from the dating pool.
Totally.
Another suitor can take their place.
Yeah. And it's, wait, stop. And I've also known things to be on the flip side where I've had friends who have gotten like long messages from someone who they just went on one date with, kind of outlining all of the reasons why they don't want to go on a second date.
Yeah.
And to me, it's like, is that necessary? But to this person, it was different styles.
Yeah. And that's another thing too. You've known this person for one date, so maybe for a few hours, like maybe you slept together, whatever, you missed the touch of a man, like whatever. But how much stock do you put in what this person that you barely know thinks? They have all their reasons and they think that you care about what those
Well, that's
are.
what I thought when she told me. I actually think that this
Yeah.
is kind of presumptuous and
Yeah, that my
even a
opinion
bit
is
rude.
worthy to be like, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
So for me, maybe that wouldn't have been my person because I would never
Exactly.
need all of that.
Yeah. And
I'd
that's
rather you just not text me.
yeah, I'd rather not know all of those reasons.
Right.
But what you were saying earlier about getting text the next morning and how for you that was a turnoff. For other people, they'd be like, oh my God, I'm so relieved he's not one of those guys that plays games and waits 3 days and like all of this stuff. And so that wasn't your person. And so it just goes to show everyone is different. Everyone has different preferences. And so someone who ghosts you, it's just a preference thing. Like for you, that was a bad thing. For someone else, it could be an amazing thing. And they're just like so relieved. So
And
it's
just like a breakup, if it doesn't work out, it wasn't meant to.
Exactly. It wasn't meant to. And glad it didn't take that long, you know.
Right. Glad you didn't get to that point.
Yeah.
And then, like we said, anytime that you feel these rejection feelings and this disappointment and this letdown, learn from it. Use it as an opportunity to reevaluate how you are dating and how you are showing up, and possibly consider what you might want to tweak as you continue to meet people and why you're getting so upset over someone you don't know that much, and how possibly you can prevent yourself from getting so wrapped up in someone so soon in the future.
Yes. Yeah. And I think on the other flip side of this is we're also saying that you're not a terrible person if you've ghosted someone in the past, and that
I learned from that experience because it gave me the chance when I did it to look at why is this so hard for me, and to do better for sure.
Yes. Oh my God. Awesome.
Good stuff. Well, we're going to be following this up with more episodes on ghosting in the future.
Yes.
Possibly if there was sex involved in the date and how to handle it. So if you have a ghosting question, if this has happened to you and you would like us to talk about your situation, please DM either of us. We'll drop our feeds in the outro, and we will absolutely talk about it.
Yes, and we do answer our DMs. We are not that cool.
Not yet. No, we love it. We love getting the DMs so much. So please don't hesitate. We absolutely will respond.
I mean, upcoming ghosting topics would be one night stand and getting ghosted. And then the big one, which is a relationship ending with a ghosting, which is
I think it's different. I think we can talk about ways to process and heal from that, which I don't necessarily think applies as much to this conversation.
Yeah. There are levels. There are levels of ghosting. And so this is kind of the intro level.
Yes. And like I said in the beginning, if what we've said about our approach to ghosting or our interpretation of ghosting is different from yours, I love hearing about cultural things like that, and I'd be thrilled if you said that you see things totally different.
Tell us that you disagree.
Yes, please.
Yay. Well,
Right.
thank you so much for listening this week, and we'll talk soon.
Yes, thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening to X-Files, a podcast about breakups, broken hearts, and moving on.
If you like this episode, tag us on your Instagram story so we can connect with you.
And you can find me, Claire, on Instagram at Claire Lofthouse.
And me, Janice, on Instagram at Janice Formicella. Talk soon.
Bye.